everyone, Steven here, autistic YouTuber, and welcome to Tostemac. Today is going to be more of a discussion video, the topic being fireworks or drone lights. Both can light up a dark night sky with spectacles of wonder, but both have very different properties. So, today we will go over the ups and downs of both, and then I will leave it up to you to decide. We'll start with fireworks. These have been around for over 2,000 years, originating in ancient China, and 2,000 plus years means plenty of time for pyrotechnicians to refine their craft and make bigger and more extravagant fireworks. And while pyrotechnicians focus on the more smaller details, making sure every part of the firework piece, works, thankfully for the general public, they're relatively easy to use. Just place them where you want them to be, make sure they are properly secured so they don't tip over at the last minute, light the fuse, and then get the heck out of the way. When you don't have to worry about a long list of steps to follow, you can spend more time kicking back and relaxing with friends and families. Most fun of all, fireworks can come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, from the rockets that shoot upwards before exploding, fireworks that stay on the ground like fountain fireworks and spinners, to even ones you can hold in your hand like sparklers, so you can draw in the night sky till your heart's content. Provided you, don't accidentally light your right foot on fire.
That sounds oddly specific.
Don't ask.
Well, we wouldn't be doing our job if we didn't talk about the downsides of fireworks. The biggest one that Steven just hinted at, if not used properly, fireworks can be very dangerous for the environment and even people. Bigger fireworks like rockets and multi-shots should only be handled by those who know what they're doing, or what we would like to call experts. If something goes wrong, like a rocket tipping over after being lit, or something wrong with the packaging of the firework itself, the people around them can be prone to some serious injury. Steven and some of his friends can tell you about that firsthand.
I thought we agreed to not bring that up.
Too late. Now you have to talk about it during the next live stream.
Oh, fine.
Getting back on track, fireworks can be fun to look at, but sometimes the bright explosions, the big booming sounds, along with the screeching noises that fountain fireworks make, aren't always welcome. Especially those with sensory sensitivities or those who suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Granted, there are ways of getting around the sensory issues like noise-canceling headphones and dark sunglasses. It's just that it would be nice if we didn't have to rely on those accommodations.
Personally, I don't mind the brightness that much, since I usually enjoy colorful shows anyway. But to this day, I still cannot stand the screeching noises that fountain fireworks make. It's this high-pitched noise that sounds as if someone is scratching on a chalkboard, and I can't do anything to stop it. Worse yet, I can't even predict when the noise will go off, so I can prepare in advance. So for those who can't stand certain noises that some fireworks make, believe me, I'm right there with you.
Which brings us to the last downside of fireworks. Even though each firework piece is designed to work a certain way, they are, for the most part, unpredictable. You can't fully predict what noise, brightness, longevity, and even whether or not the firework will work properly. Some people won't mind, but for many autistic people or other neurodivergent individuals, the lack of predictability can make the experience less enjoyable and more anxiety-inducing.
That should be enough for the ups and downs of fireworks. Now we can get to the more recent development in light shows at night. Drone lights. Although this technology hasn't been around nearly as long as fireworks, first premiering in 2012 in Linz, Austria, it has certainly come a long way in the past 12 years, showcasing what they can really do all across the globe. If you want to see an example for yourself, click the info card right here. But do be sure to come back when you're done, okay? One thing you're going to notice right out the gate is that these drone light shows aren't nearly as loud or nearly as bright as fireworks usually are, which means this can be a much more pleasant experience for those with sensory sensitivities. They can enjoy a light show at night without the need of extra accommodations. Plus, since drone light shows don't involve explosives or fires, at least the last time I checked, these kinds of shows are much more safe, which is a win-win in my book. But I do have to wonder, how exactly does all of this work?
For disclaimer, we do not claim to be experts in this by any means. However, I will do my best to give a basic rundown of how all of this works, so bear with me. First, the programmers prepare a drone choreography animation using a 3D animation software and run tests virtually to make sure all of the drones can reach the speed and distance needed without running into each other. Can't have collisions in the middle of a show now, can they? Once all of the testing is done and adjustments are made, the programmers need to find a field large enough and flat enough to place all of the drones in a grid-like formation. They will also need to set up the real-time kinematic GPS field station, Wi-Fi router, and the main control laptop where they will be running the show from. After all of that is set, the drone show software should automatically assign the flight paths to each individual drone. One last pre-flight check and letting the drones know when to take off, and it's finally showtime. The drones will run through the program, hopefully with no issues, and then touch back down. Tech lovers, I hope you were paying attention. This can sound like an awful lot, because it is. It's not exactly as easy as lighting a fuse, so unless you're a tech expert who's into this sort of thing, you might be discouraged from something so complicated.
That's not to completely discourage you from this, of course. As mentioned earlier, these drone light shows follow a choreography that was pre-programmed in advance. In other words, a routine. So while you can't fully predict how the show is going to go, you can guarantee that the show will follow a smooth, consistent pace that is easy to follow, and that it's not going to jump scare you out of nowhere.
Alright, I'll give you that. Although there is also the issue of availability. Whether or not there are light drone shows where you are located depends on the events in your local listings, and if the people in charge are willing to pay top dollar for the services. Due to the high price range and complexities involved, many event holders will still opt for fireworks shows, which are cheaper and comparatively more simple to use. And that brings us to what it all boils down to: cost. In terms of fireworks, you can go as cheap as $100 and call it a night, or go bigger and run about $500 to even $1,000 worth of fireworks and still not break the bank. It's up to you.
Please remember to check your local laws before buying fireworks, as the rules and regulations regarding them differ depending on where you live.
Now, the equipment for drone light shows? Oh, that's a whole nother story. Let's just say there's a really good reason for the high price tag for drone light shows in the first place. To find an answer, we searched through the internet and found a website called Drone Blocks, which gave us a price range for an entire kit, the variable being the number of drones you want. Brace yourselves! An entire set with only 10 drones will run you about $7,500. A set of 50 will run you about $33,000. And lastly, a set with 100 drones will be a whopping, wait for it, $64,250.
That's nowhere near as cheap as fireworks. Ugh. No wonder why so many people will still choose fireworks instead. Is what I would say if we didn't find alternatives for you.
Luckily, there are some far less expensive alternatives available to you. The options that we found only run about $10 to $30 on average, and they are so easy, even children can play with them. To find out more, click on the description box below this video and find the links that will take you to the alternatives we found. You'll see what I mean.
I personally have found a liking for both. I've grown up with fireworks for the majority of my life, but at the same time, I see great potential with these drone light shows. Ultimately though, the choice is up to you. Would you prefer fireworks, drone lights, or perhaps both? Tell us about it in the comments section below. With that, it's time to end the video. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I know this came out a little later than I had originally planned, so as always, I appreciate your understanding. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, all that good stuff that makes Tostemac grow. And don't forget, we also stream on the weekends too, so if I'm live and you got the time, come hang with us. Until the next video or live stream, see you later.